Hello everyone. I welcome you to this lecture in which we will try to understand difference between tort and crime. Basically, tort and crime are widely different from each other. For the very nature of these wrongful acts is different. Where tort is a private wrong, crime is a public wrong. Why tort a private wrong and crime a public wrong? Tort is a private wrong for it is violation of a private right belonging to individuals as an individual, and therefore its violation affects the individual only, whereas crime is a public wrong, for it is violation of a public right in which society as a whole has its interest, and therefore its violation affects the society as a whole, and therefore we say that crime is a public wrong. Now, second difference is with respect to the nature of the law that governs these wrongful acts, where tort is governed by the civil law, crime is governed by the criminal law. Now, third difference is with respect to the nature of the judicial action or proceedings conducted against these wrongful acts. Against tort, the judicial action is taken in the form of a civil suit for compensation before the civil court. And since tort is a private wrong that affects private person only, action against tort is taken by the party injured, that is the person injured. Against crime, judicial proceedings are taken in the form of prosecution before the criminal court. And since crime is a public wrong which affects the society as a whole, prosecution is conducted by and in the name of the state. Now, the third difference is with respect to the object of the action taken or proceedings conducted against these wrongful acts. The object of judicial action taken against tort is to compensate the person injured, whereas the object of the prosecution against crime is to punish the offender. In other words, for tort, law provides remedy primarily in the form of compensation and not punishment. However, in exceptional circumstances, court may award exemplary damages which are punitive in nature in cases of tort. However, it should be noted that the court may award exemplary damages only where uh, apart from compensating the person injured, court finds it necessary to punish the defendant in order to deter him in future from committing the same kind of wrongful act. Only in such cases, court awards exemplary damages. For as against this, for crime, law provides remedy primarily in the form of punishment. However, in exceptional circumstances where apart from punishing the offender, court finds it necessary to compensate the victim of the crime. In that cases, the court may order some amount of the fine that is imposed on the offender to be paid as compensation to the victim of that offense. Thus, here we can say that, however, it should be noted that the award of compensation in criminal prosecution is ancillary to its main purpose of punishing the offender. But uh, in cases of tort, award of compensation is the main purpose. So, from the discussion so far, we can say that tort and crime are distinctly different from one another. However, there are circumstances where single act from one point of view constitutes tort, and at the same time from another point of view amounts to crime. Take an example of assault, uh, a wrongful act of assault. If we look at assault as a violation of uh, a right to security of a person, which every person in the society, a right which every person in the society enjoys under law, then assault is a tort, for it is violation of a legal right of an individual. But when we look at assault as an act of violence, which is menace to the safety of society generally, then it amounts to a crime, for it affects the society as a whole. So, therefore, in our legal system, we find that assault being violation of a right to security of person constitutes tort, as well as assault is declared as a crime also. So here we come to know that a single act may constitute tort, both tort as well as crime. Now, wherever a single act constitutes tort as well as crime, in such cases, a person injured by the act in question may bring a civil suit claiming compensation in a civil court, and at the same time state may start prosecution against that crime in the criminal court. Thus, in such cases where a single act constitutes tort as well as crime, both civil and criminal proceedings can concurrently be held before the respective courts. I hope you have understood the difference between tort and crime. Thank you.